Title: The Healing Power of Forgiveness. A tale of redemption. The sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows across the park where Sarah sat alone on a weathered bench. Tears glistened in her eyes, reflecting the fading light as she clutched a crumpled piece of paper in her trembling hands. The letter, filled with words of betrayal and deceit, had shattered the fragile trust she had placed in her partner Mark. The gentle breeze whispered through the trees, carrying the echoes of their laughter and promises once shared. As Sarah's heart ached with the sting of betrayal, a familiar voice echoed in her mind, the voice of her grandmother, who had always believed in the power of forgiveness. Memories of her grandmother's stories of resilience and compassion flooded her thoughts, urging her to consider a different path in the face of betrayal. Forgiveness versus revenge loomed large in Sarah's mind, like a crossroads beckoning her to choose her next steps carefully. The age-old question echoed within her: should she seek retribution and let anger consume her, or should she embrace forgiveness as a balm for her wounded soul? The weight of her decision hung heavy in the air, for she knew that her choice would shape not only her own future but also the dynamics of her relationship with Mark. In the midst of the fading light and whispered regrets, Sarah found herself at a crossroads, a moment of reckoning that would test the limits of her resilience and capacity for compassion. The importance of forgiveness in resolving conflicts became clear to her, not as a sign of weakness but as a beacon of strength and healing in the face of adversity. As the last rays of sunlight bathed the park in a golden glow, Sarah took a deep breath and made a choice. A choice to confront the shadows of betrayal with the light of forgiveness, knowing that the path ahead would be fraught with challenges and uncertainties. And so, the stage was set for Sarah's journey of redemption, a journey that would test her beliefs, her courage, and her capacity to forgive in the face of pain and betrayal. The chirping of birds heralded the dawn as Sarah awoke to a world transformed by the shadows of betrayal. The memory of that fateful evening lingered in her mind like a lingering storm cloud, casting a pall over her once vibrant relationship with Mark. The initial conflict that set the story in motion had been a simple revelation: a text message left unattended on Mark's phone, revealing secrets that shattered Sarah's trust like fragile glass. As the truth unraveled before her eyes, a whirlwind of emotions swept through Sarah's heart, leaving a trail of devastation in its wake. Anger, sharp and bitter, gnawed at her insides like a festering wound, fueling the flames of betrayal that threatened to consume her. Hurt, deep and profound, seeped into the cracks of her heart, leaving her feeling raw and vulnerable in the face of Mark's deception. The desire for revenge, a primal instinct born of wounded pride and shattered dreams, whispered seductively in her ear, tempting her to strike back with words as sharp as daggers. In the midst of this emotional maelstrom, Sarah grappled with conflicting impulses: a desire to lash out in anger and pain, to make Mark feel the depth of her sorrow and betrayal, and a flickering spark of hope that whispered of a different path, a path of forgiveness and healing. The shadows of the past loomed large, casting doubt on the foundation of their once solid relationship and forcing Sarah to confront the harsh realities of love and trust. As the sun climbed higher in the sky, casting long shadows across the park where Sarah sat alone, she knew that the time had come to make a choice that would define not only her relationship with Mark but also the depths of her own character and capacity for forgiveness. And so, against the backdrop of a world in turmoil, Sarah braced herself for the tumultuous journey ahead, a journey marked by the scars of betrayal, the echoes of anger and hurt, and the faint glimmer of hope that forgiveness might yet pave the way to redemption. As the days turned into weeks, the seeds of revenge took root in Sarah's heart, blossoming into a tangled web of resentment and bitterness that clouded her judgment and fueled her desire for retribution. Every whispered lie, every hidden truth, and every stolen moment between Mark and his secret kept Sarah awake at night, her mind consumed by thoughts of revenge. The desire to make him pay for the pain he had caused her burned like a relentless fire, casting a shadow over her every interaction with him and poisoning the well of their once burgeoning love. In a moment of reckoning, Sarah found herself teetering on the edge of a precipice, torn between the urge to unleash her fury upon Mark and the faint echo of her grandmother's voice urging her to choose a different path. The consequences of revenge loomed large in her mind, a bitter taste of satisfaction tinged with the bitter aftertaste of regret and shame. As Sarah contemplated the path of vengeance, she saw clearly the destructive power it held, the potential to perpetuate a cycle of pain and suffering, not only for herself but also for Mark and their fragile relationship. Revenge, she realized, was a double-edged sword that cut deep, leaving wounds that festered and scarred, poisoning the wellspring of trust and love that once flowed between them. The realization dawned on Sarah like a bolt of lightning in the darkness. Revenge was not the answer. It was a fleeting illusion, a hollow victory that offered no solace, no healing, and no redemption. If she chose the path of vengeance, she knew that she would be sowing the seeds of her own destruction, condemning herself to a life bound by anger and pain. And so, with a heavy heart and trembling hands, Sarah made a choice. A choice to turn away from the temptation of revenge and embrace the challenging path of forgiveness, knowing that it would be a journey fraught with obstacles and uncertainties, but also filled with the promise of healing and redemption. In the stillness of the night, with the weight of betrayal heavy upon her heart, Sarah found herself at a crossroads, a turning point where the shadows of revenge and the light of forgiveness intersected, beckoning her to choose her path carefully. It was in this moment of solitude and reflection that the character contemplated forgiveness as a radical alternative, a path less traveled but laden with the promise of healing and redemption. As Sarah gazed into the darkness, her mind a whirlwind of conflicting emotions, a faint glimmer of hope flickered in the depths of her soul. The realization dawned upon her that forgiveness was not a sign of weakness but a testament to her strength and resilience, a choice to transcend the pain and betrayal that had threatened to consume her. The internal journey of letting go of anger and embracing empathy and understanding was a daunting one, fraught with obstacles and challenges that tested the limits of Sarah's resolve. She knew that to forgive was not to forget or condone the wrongs done to her, but to release herself from the shackles of bitterness and resentment that bound her to the past. With each breath, Sarah felt the weight of anger and hurt slowly lift from her shoulders, replaced by a sense of peace and clarity that she had long yearned for. The walls she had built around her heart began to crumble, allowing empathy and understanding to take root within her, nurturing a seed of compassion that bloomed in the darkness. As she delved deeper into the recesses of her soul, Sarah discovered a wellspring of strength and courage she never knew she possessed. A wellspring that flowed with the healing waters of forgiveness, washing away the stains of betrayal and pain that had clouded her vision. And so, with a heart heavy with sorrow and hope, Sarah took her first tentative steps on the path to forgiveness, a path illuminated by the light of compassion and understanding, leading her towards a future untainted by the shadows of revenge and regret. As Sarah embarked on her journey of forgiveness, she soon discovered the transformative power it held, the ability to mend broken relationships, nurture growth, and pave the way for a future unburdened by the weight of past grievances. The act of forgiveness became a beacon of light in the darkness, guiding her towards a path of healing and reconciliation with Mark. With each step she took towards forgiveness, Sarah felt the walls of resentment and pain crumble around her, replaced by a newfound sense of liberation and peace. The wounds that had once festered in her heart began to heal, leaving behind scars that bore witness to her strength and resilience in the face of adversity. As Sarah extended the olive branch of forgiveness to Mark, she witnessed a profound shift in their relationship, a shift marked by a renewed sense of trust, understanding, and empathy. The wounds of betrayal began to heal, replaced by a deeper bond forged in the crucible of forgiveness and compassion. The emotional catharsis that accompanied Sarah's choice to forgive was nothing short of revelatory, a catharsis that washed over her like a cleansing tide, purging her soul of anger and bitterness, and filling the void with a sense of freedom and release. The burden of carrying the weight of past grievances lifted from her shoulders, allowing her to breathe deeply and embrace the present with an open heart. With each act of forgiveness, Sarah felt the tendrils of growth and renewal take root within her, nourishing her spirit and nurturing her capacity for compassion and understanding. The choice to forgive became a catalyst for personal transformation, propelling her towards a future defined by grace and resilience. And so, as Sarah stood on the threshold of a new beginning, she marveled at the profound impact forgiveness had wrought in her life, a transformation marked by healing, reconciliation, and the boundless possibilities that awaited her on the path of forgiveness. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a warm glow over the park where Sarah and Mark stood hand in hand, a sense of peace and renewal filled the air. The journey of forgiveness that had begun with a single choice had led them to this moment, a moment of healing, reconciliation, and the promise of a brighter future together. Through the trials and tribulations of betrayal and pain, Sarah had discovered a profound truth: forgiveness is a powerful tool for healing and rebuilding trust in relationships. It was not a sign of weakness or surrender, but a testament to her strength and resilience in the face of adversity. By choosing to forgive, she had unlocked a wellspring of compassion and understanding that had transformed her relationship with Mark and set them on a path towards deeper connection and intimacy. The overarching message of their story resonated in the gentle breeze that rustled through the leaves, carrying with it the echoes of forgiveness and redemption. It was a message of hope and healing, of second chances and new beginnings, of the transformative power of love and forgiveness to mend even the deepest wounds of betrayal. As Sarah looked into Mark's eyes, she knew that their journey was far from over, but they had taken the first step towards a future defined by trust, empathy, and unconditional love. And as the stars twinkled overhead, casting a gentle light on their path forward, Sarah and Mark walked hand in hand into the future, guided by the transformative power of forgiveness and the promise of a love that knew no bounds. This reflects the message of forgiveness as a powerful tool for healing and rebuilding trust in relationships.